Hey everyone, just going to do a review of Deathbed Breakfast, a Puko's Sister's Mystery, by Bart J. Gilbertson. He runs a really good booktube channel on here, Book Rising with Bart J. Gilbertson, and a music channel, the music of Bart Gilbertson. I will link both in my description. Also, if I can remember, I'll leave a link to this on Amazon. I've returned to my five ups and five downs. I will try to speak throughout this review, but I've returned to my 5 and 5 in rating review system for this. Now, before I get into it, I'm going to start with the negatives. I've already talked to Bart about this, and excuse me. We've already talked about the negatives, and they're really just nitpicks, because I really enjoyed this. I read it in, well, 2 sittings, but one was I started it after finishing a book and just wanted to start the next book, that type of thing. So, but so anyway, the negatives, which I'm going to say, I only have 4 really, and well, not really, I have 4. And like I said, they're nitpicks, and I've already talked to Bart about them, and they're fine. I understand each one. I'm just saying it just for the review's sake. Number 1, certain words didn't seem to fit. Like, I thought that maybe the word adamant didn't fit in a spot, but it was explained to me, and I understand. So I just want to keep on making that point, so that Bart doesn't think I'm picking on him, and so that potential readers don't say don't think that I'm ragging on his book. Number 2, actually, there's a couple here that I came up with after talking to him, like this one here. When the granddaughter, Penny, and her grandpa walk into a store in this small town, the storekeep immediately introduces himself, full name, first name, and last name. And I don't know. I mean, maybe in some small towns, and maybe more in the past, like in the Old West. But I've lived in a small town my whole life. And honestly, I don't know anybody outside of maybe a couple of my immediate neighbors. I definitely don't know who works at the stores. I don't know who owns places. But then again, maybe that's just me. Maybe they know who I am. I'm just saying that doesn't match my experience. So that seems to be kind of maybe a centralized thing for, depending on your experience of where you are. Because like I said, the small town that I've grown up in, it doesn't work like that. Okay. I feel that the maid, Alexis, near the end, I feel like she might have gotten a second chance at her job from the sisters. They're pretty severe in their in certain things, but they run a really quaint B&B, and they get along with everybody in the town. So it kind of seems like maybe they would have been a little more forgiving for a maid that they're used to. But it also, conversely, on that point, it seemed like maybe they didn't. She hadn't been there that long, so maybe they just didn't really. She seemed easily replaceable. I don't know. And until the switch at the end, I honestly thought that I knew who was gonna. I honestly thought the story was going in another direction, where somebody was going to get offered that job. And then the main complaint, and it's not even a complaint, and I understand, because it's supposed to be cozy, and Bart told me that the publisher wants them to be short, is that it's a little too short for really great fleshing out of certain characters, especially the ones that are meant to be uh, the main characters, the sisters, and I guess Felix, the cook. We got some character quirks, but like Bart told me, they it needed to be short, and you can only do so much in 266 pages when you want most of it to be meat in the story. But those are the negatives. Really, not that big of a deal. My pros. This reads very much like a love letter to Agatha Christie and even Scooby Doo. There's red herrings. You don't really know unless you're keeping a flowchart on the wall who the actual killer is until you're ready to be told. And everybody's got something to hide pretty much, except for the sisters who run the place. But even maybe they have something to hide too. Romance in the offing. But so that I liked that. And speaking of the sisters, number 2 is they're kind of like a pair of J.B. Fletchers. If you don't know who that is, maybe I'm old. But J.B. Fletcher was Angela Lansbury's character on Murder, She Wrote. So that kind of really fit too. You can tell that Bart grew up reading Agatha Christie maybe and watching Murder, She Wrote, because not saying he copied anything, but you can tell that this has got a lot of that cozy stuff mixed right in. Again, number 3, great job on the red herrings. I mean, except for the sisters who run the place and the cook, I thought everybody did it. Oh, and the cops. I thought everybody did it at one point or another. So, like I mentioned a minute ago, the character quirks are awesome. Like Edna, one of the sisters who runs the B&B, she has this quirk where everybody gets addressed by their full first name. Not their full name, but their full first name. Like the main character's grandpa is Grandpa Dick, and he wants everybody to just call him Dick, and she refuses. She calls him Richard, and I really enjoyed that. It's a nice little quirk. And Felix, the cook, being just as deaf as can be, what? I loved that too. The quirks are what makes characters, and you can tell that the author gets that. And then my absolute favorite thing of this book is the scenery of the area, the pond or the lake, not pond, the forest, the little town, the building of the bed and breakfast, everything. You can see that the author has been there in the place where he's writing and that he fell in love with it. And it's just amazing. And I love that. They say write what you know, and in this case, it was write what you love. Anyway, that's Deathbed and Breakfast by Bart J. Gilbertson. I'm trying to kind of hassle him into writing more because I want more of these two sisters. They're slick, but not in a dirty way. I mean, the way that they catch things and how they figure stuff out, I like that. So write more, Bart. Not read more, write more. We found out who Moore is for you. Moore is the Pucots sisters, or Pucots. I'm not sure. You'll have to let me know how to say it. But this is my review for his book. I really enjoyed it. I gave him honest feedback. And on my rating system, with my 6 categories, it got an 8.32 out of 10. Almost made my top 10 for the year through 4 months. For those of you who go by the Goodreads 5 stars, it's a 4.16. So, all in all, a good reading experience.